As the University of North Dakota prepares for our smart restart, our goal is to keep our community informed about what we're doing to keep our students, faculty, staff, and visitors safe. This Safe Colleges training provides you with a high-level overview of what you can expect at UND as the fall semester begins. All faculty, staff, and on-campus students are required to complete this training. Because there is so much information about COVID-19 and our response to it, I felt it was important to ensure that the entire community hears the same information at the same time. While some information may not apply to you, it's important that our entire campus understand the changes we've made for students, faculty, and staff due to COVID-19. You never know when you might be able to help answer the questions of others as we all learn to navigate this new world together. And due to the fluid nature of COVID-19, the information included in this training is subject to change, but covers what we know as of now. You can find additional details and updates on the coronavirus blog and in other resources. At the end of this training, you'll be asked to acknowledge the information you learned and pledge to do everything you can to keep the UND community safe. I ask you to do your part and be a healthy hawk. After all, your responsible actions could help save a life.
Thank you, President Armacost. While the University of North Dakota is following the CDC and State of North Dakota guidelines, we've also developed guidelines for our campus community. Your health and safety are our top priorities. UND's higher COVID-19 resistant policies and procedures may be different than those in Grand Forks or the state. This is because there are several unique aspects of UND. When the fall semester starts, our population will instantly increase by nearly 15,000 people from across the U.S. as well as different countries. The high density population and increased volume of human interaction requires us to be extra vigilant in our efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19. As a strong community that cares about our students, faculty, and staff, we ask you to take precautionary steps to reduce transmission and minimize the risk for everyone, especially those at high risk. UND has developed 3 safety levels to guide what our community can expect and how we can help keep each other safe. If we're in safety level 1, the red level, there's high community spread, and most operations at UND will be 100% remote. If there's low to moderate community spread at the start of the fall semester, UND plans to transition to yellow safety level 2, where campus operations can be a mix of online and in person. It's anticipated that UND will stay at this level through the fall semester, unless there's a COVID-19 outbreak within the UND community, which will push us back to red safety level 1. Or if a proven vaccine or treatment becomes available, we can move to green safety level 3 and return to a more normal way of life at UND. UND is actively monitoring indicators to determine the recommended safety level. These include the number of new cases, the ability to test for COVID-19 and trace contacts, and the ability of Ultra to treat patients without entering crisis mode. If one or more of the indicators impacts the UND community, it may trigger UND to move from one safety level to another. UND's current safety level will be indicated on the coronavirus blog, web banner, and digital signage throughout campus. If there are changes, UND will use the same communication methods it uses for weather-related closings and other campus messages to notify campus, even if the movement is in a positive direction. You can find the safety level guidelines, the process for determining if a change is needed, and other updates at blogs.und.edu/coronavirus. No one wants to move back to red safety level 1, and that's why it's so important for every UND community member to follow the CDC safety guidelines. You can help us stay in the yellow. When it comes to keeping the UND community safe from COVID-19, practicing physical distancing is one of the best defenses. We've installed signs, markers, and physical barriers such as plexiglass to ensure that individuals remain at least 6 feet apart. Please follow all physical distancing policies such as limiting and staggering the use of common areas and staying at least 6 feet apart when walking in the halls or in classrooms. UND requires face coverings to be worn whenever you're interacting with others, including when physical distancing is in place. Face coverings are most likely to reduce the spread of COVID-19 when they are widely and properly used in public settings. To wear your face covering correctly, wash your hands before putting on your face covering. Put it over your nose and mouth and secure it under your chin. Fit it snugly against the sides of your face and make sure you can breathe easily. When you get home, you should carefully take off your face covering by untying the strings behind your head or stretching the ear loops. Handle only the ear loops with ties. Fold the outside corners together. Do not touch your eyes, nose, and mouth when removing the face covering, and wash your hands immediately after removing. Your face covering should be washed daily. Please follow CDC guidelines for proper cleaning and drying procedures for all types of face coverings. Face coverings are required to be worn for safety levels 1 and 2. You are required to wear one when you're interacting in person with others, attending a class or activity held indoors, in indoor common spaces, regardless of whether others are present or not. And some examples of that include lounges, hallways, elevators, study rooms, bathrooms, break rooms, and other common spaces. You're also required to wear face coverings in dining centers, except when you're eating or drinking. Riding on a campus shuttle, bus, or van with 2 or more people, and while representing UND in an official capacity at events held both on and off campus. You do not need to wear a face covering when you're outdoors if a 6-foot physical distance from others can be maintained, alone in a private residence hall, apartment, office, or workspace, while exercising or competing in sports, or while playing a musical instrument, singing, or performing in a theater production. UND recognizes that medical or other reasons may prevent someone from wearing a face covering. If needed, appropriate accommodations should be granted through the UND accommodation process. Please be sensitive to the fact that medical issues are private matters. No one is required to disclose exactly why they're not able to wear a face covering. If you're not able to wear a face covering, faculty members should work with their department chair, staff should work with their supervisors, and students should work with their advisor and/or instructors to identify alternative options. If an individual is able but unwilling to comply, they may be asked to leave a physical location. UND will supply 2 face coverings that meet the CDC's guidelines for every faculty, staff, and student. Employees will receive the face coverings through their department's central point person for ordering COVID-19 supplies. Students will receive them during Welcome Weekend. Distribution details will be published on the coronavirus blog. Clean hands are the most effective ways to stop germs from spreading. Wash your hands often throughout the day, especially after touching common surfaces. Follow these 5 steps to wash your hands the proper way. Wet your hands with clean running water, warm or cold. Turn off the tap and apply soap. Number 2, lather your hands by rubbing them together with soap. Lather the backs of your hands between your fingers and under your nails. Number 3, scrub your hands for at least 20 seconds. If you need a timer, hum the happy birthday song from the beginning to end twice. Or to show your school spirit, you can always sing the fight song, Stand Up and Cheer. Number 4, rinse your hands well under clean running water. And number 5, dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry them. Washing hands with soap and water is best. If soap and water are not available, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. UND has installed hand sanitizer stations throughout campus. To ensure we're properly cleaning and disinfecting, it's important that you disinfect supplies to wipe down shared desks, lab equipment, door handles, light switches, and other objects and surfaces before and after each use. Disinfection stations will be installed across campus. In addition, UND will be operating on a hyper-vigilant cleaning schedule to ensure deeper and more frequent cleaning to common spaces and high-touch surfaces. Most common spaces will be cleaned and disinfected once daily. Private offices will be cleaned weekly. UND strongly encourages daily self-monitoring of COVID-19 symptoms prior to leaving home each day. Take your temperature daily and stay at home if it's above 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Watch for symptoms of fevers and chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, or diarrhea. If you have a fever or other symptoms, you might have COVID-19. If you think you may have been exposed to COVID-19, stay home and contact your healthcare provider and keep track of your symptoms. If you have a warning sign like trouble breathing, get emergency medical care immediately. If you're sick with COVID-19 or think you might have it or have been exposed to it, follow these steps. Stay home. Many people with COVID-19 have mild illness and can recover at home without medical care. Do not leave home except to get medical care, and don't visit public areas. As much as possible, stay in a specific room and away from other people and pets in your home. If possible, you should use a separate bathroom. If you need to be around other people or animals or outside of your home, wear a cloth face covering. Take care of yourself. Get rest and stay hydrated. Take over-the-counter medicine such as acetaminophen to help you feel better. Stay in touch with your doctor. Call before you get medical care. Be sure to get care if you have trouble breathing or if you think it's an emergency. And finally, avoid public transportation. Ride sharing or taxis are included. If you or a close contact do show symptoms or test positive for COVID-19, it's important that you report this information to UND. This will help ensure proper isolation, disinfection, and contact tracing can take place. Please follow the procedures outlined on the coronavirus blog for reporting cases. The blog is updated each weekday with the total number of confirmed cases at UND. Employees must immediately notify their supervisors and follow specific self-isolation or self-quarantine procedures depending on if they or a close contact become ill. Please complete the online notification form and other reporting protocols found on the coronavirus blog. Students who test positive for COVID-19 or have a close contact that does are expected to immediately self-quarantine and complete an online notification form on the coronavirus blog or call the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities at 701-777-2664. Students should leave a message with their name, phone number, and student ID if they call outside normal business hours. OSRR staff will call the student back to gather additional information. How we enter, move through, and leave each UND building is going to be different as we return to campus. We'll need to follow COVID-19 signage to help with traffic control. All changes were made to reinforce physical distancing, prevent crowding, and help with contact tracing should an outbreak occur. Each UND building will have a designated primary entrance and multiple exits. Depending on the floor plan, some buildings may have a secondary entrance and/or emergency-only exits. During an emergency, evacuate using all entrances and exits. Inside buildings, follow directional arrows and floor stickers to help maintain a physical distance of 6 feet. Physical distancing will also extend to stairwells. There will be enter-only and exit-only stairwells. Enter-only will be used for building circulation, while exit-only will be reserved for leaving a building. Emergency exit-only stairwells should only be accessed in the event of an emergency. Elevator doors will list the maximum rider occupancy. If the occupancy is greater than 1, floor markings will be placed where multiple riders should stand to maintain physical distancing requirements. Multi-user restrooms will have physical distancing reminders on exterior doors. Please follow these requirements. Stay behind plexiglass shields that are installed in areas where physical distancing is not possible or at common points of interaction such as reception desks and at the front of classrooms. For other common areas such as lobbies or lounge spaces, use hand sanitizer stations before entering and after leaving. Disinfect services, fridges, microwaves, and other shared areas before and after use. Use a personal bottle at water fountains. Departments can obtain hand sanitizer and disinfecting supplies through the normal Jagger process. How we work together will change as we kick off the semester. To prevent the spread of COVID-19 and to help keep our campus community safe, it's highly recommended that staff, faculty, and student employees continue to work remotely where possible. This includes students completing internships and co-ops. Our goal is to create a less dense campus, so departments may consider having employees work 100% remotely or rotate between on-campus and remote work schedules. Departments posting student employment, internship, and co-op opportunities should indicate if the position is available remote, on campus, or a combination. For the fall semester, in-person internships or co-ops are allowed without pre-approval from the provost office. For those coming to campus, departments should stagger workday start and end times as well as break times to avoid crowding. Consider a one-at-a-time rule for break room usage. To reduce gatherings, employees should continue to meet remotely using Zoom and other technologies. If in-person meetings are necessary, they must be held in spaces large enough to accommodate physical distancing. Employees are required to wear face coverings in common or shared spaces and whenever interacting with others, even if they're 6 feet apart. This means that when you enter the building, walk the hallways, use the restroom or break room, talk to a coworker, or use the department copier, you must wear a face covering. If you are completely alone in your workspace, you may remove your face covering at that time. If employees and or visitors are not wearing face coverings in common spaces, departments must provide disposable masks as available or ask the person to leave the area. When there are no barriers, plexiglass shields should be installed between employee workspaces and at reception areas. Use Healthy Hawks signage templates available for download on the coronavirus blog to remind others of CDC guidelines. Contact facilities if you need assistance with plexiglass shields and signage. Each department is responsible for developing procedures to disinfect common spaces, equipment, and supplies multiple times during the day. Hand sanitizer should be available, and wipes should be used to clean shared door handles, light switches, front desk counters, conference tables, microwaves, fridges, coffee pots, copiers, office supplies, and other equipment. When using shared office equipment and appliances, employees should wipe them down and use hand sanitizer both before and after use. UND's mission is to provide transformative learning, discovery, and community engagement opportunities for developing tomorrow's leaders. This year, that statement means more than ever. There will be several changes in how courses are developed and how classrooms are set up. To limit contact, we'll provide high-quality on-campus courses, hybrid courses, and fully online courses. In-person classes will have fewer students in larger classrooms to allow for physical distancing. All assignments will be distributed and collected through Blackboard to avoid exchanging papers and spreading germs. These changes will allow for engagement while maintaining smaller numbers of students in the classroom and limiting the spread of COVID-19. When students are in the classroom, they may be assigned seats and/or will be asked to sit in the same seat for each class period. This will help with contact tracing if a student tests positive for COVID-19. At the end of each class period, students will be dismissed by row or table to avoid crowding. An additional 5 minutes has been added between Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes to allow for these safety precautions. When entering a building or classroom, please pay attention to the new COVID-19 signage. They indicate how to enter and exit the classroom or lab space, the space capacity, and which desks or workspaces should be used. To encourage physical distancing, the workspaces that are available for use will have a Healthy Hawks marker on them. Desks without a marker should be avoided. Sanitizing and disinfecting supplies will be stocked in classrooms and labs. We ask that you wipe down desks, lab equipment, and other shared objects and surfaces before and after use. When in the classroom, it's important that faculty stand behind the plexiglass shield and that we all use our facial coverings correctly. Technology will continue to play a vital role in teaching and learning. Professors may ask students to join live class sessions remotely on certain dates and use Blackboard to take quizzes to avoid exchanging papers in class. Needed technology will be indicated on your course syllabi. UND's University Information Technology team is available to help answer any technology questions to improve your teaching and learning experiences. To contact them, visit und.edu/UIT. You can call 701-777-2222, chat with a technician, use the knowledge base, or submit a ticket if you need help. If you run into issues with your computer or other equipment, UIT technicians can help with hardware repairs as well. For equipment drop-off and pickup, UIT will use no-contact lockers and allow you to schedule appointments as needed. As a vital resource for research and learning, the Chesterford's Library has adjusted to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Materials in circulation will be sanitized or quarantined before redistribution, and hand sanitizer stations are available throughout the facility. The library occupancy will be adjusted to adhere to physical distancing requirements, including group study rooms, computer labs, instructional classes, and studio spaces. Signage will be posted and plexiglass shields have been installed. When possible, we encourage you to use the library's contactless services such as self-checkout or return, online reference and research services, and online library instruction services. Our library staff are available by video, chat, email, and phone to assist you. Advising and tutoring services will also be offered virtually. To talk to an academic advisor, students can use the Starfish Success Network to schedule a phone call or virtual meeting. And if they're not sure who to ask, drop-in remote academic advising is available for undergraduate students. No appointment is necessary. Details are on the advising website. If students need help with classes, certified tutors are ready to help with remote drop-in tutoring sessions at no cost. Online study skills and time management services can also be found on the Tutoring and Learning Services website. If you're a student new to college, or if you're new to learning online, these tips and tricks will help you stay motivated and succeed. UND will strive to provide students, faculty, staff, and visitors with opportunities to engage in campus events outside the classroom while mitigating the spread of COVID-19. Allowable campus events and activities will depend on UND's current safety level, as well as guidelines from the CDC and state of North Dakota. UND's guidelines may be stricter at times due to the density and mobility of our campus population. While in UND Safety Level 2, virtual gatherings are encouraged whenever possible. Vendor booths and organization tables will not be allowed indoors, and due to space limitations and cleaning schedules, academic classrooms and spaces are not available for use by student organizations. Event sponsors are required to complete event approval forms for all virtual and remote events and in-person events held in or on UND-owned property at least 2 weeks in advance of the activity date. In-person events must have approval from Divisional Vice President and the COVID-19 point person. In-person events will be limited in size and require participants to wear face coverings and maintain physical distancing. Event sponsors are responsible for securing supplies for participants such as face coverings, sanitizer, and wipes. Given the fluid nature of COVID-19, event sponsors may need to adjust plans if conditions should change. Visit the event section of the coronavirus blog for additional details. University-sponsored travel for employees and students will follow the UND safety level guidelines as well as those issued by the CDC and state of North Dakota. UND's travel guidelines are subject to change and may be stricter at times to ensure the health and safety of our community. In general, UND has the following guidelines in place for university-sponsored travel. International travel is suspended. Non-international travel for faculty, staff, and students is allowed with pre-approval from the sponsoring department and the appropriate vice president, CEO, or athletic director. All mitigation strategies as well as health and safety best practices must be followed before, during, and after travel. Regardless of the mode of transportation, some travel destinations may require additional mitigation strategies such as self-quarantine upon arrival or return. If someone becomes sick during travel, they must immediately isolate and inform their supervisor, professor, or coach. For the latest information, including the travel approval process and the full list of mitigation strategies, visit the travel section on the UND Coronavirus blog. One-stop student services and other support offices will be available to help you virtually. If students, faculty, or staff need their ID cards, visit the One-Stop website to upload your photo, order your U-Card online, and indicate your preferred delivery method. There's no need to stop by Twomley Hall. To increase touchless transactions, your U-Card will be used in more locations across campus, so always carry it with you. We also understand that paying for college can be stressful for students, especially with the financial pressures that COVID-19 has put on so many families. The best thing to do is log into Campus Connection and review aid, bill, and complete any to-do list items as soon as possible. For help with financial aid and or paying your bill by October 15th, please contact One Stop via email, live chat, or phone. Students who have accepted any amount of financial aid can charge books and supplies to their student account at the UND bookstores through September 1st for online purchases and through September 3rd for in-store purchases. As a reminder, this will be a charge to the student account and financial aid may not cover the cost. In accordance to guidelines, the UND bookstore will operate at 50% of its normal customer capacity. This may result in longer lines during the fall rush. To avoid with crowding, the bookstore will establish a waiting area outside the store and new customers will be allowed inside as others leave. Signage and bookstore staff will help direct customer traffic. Students are strongly encouraged to order online and have their textbooks and other items shipped directly to their residence. Shipping and handling costs will apply. UND will also offer a new online registration action form to help students request course overrides for closed classes. missing prerequisites, or other reasons without physically collecting signatures from faculty and advisors. This form is on the Registrar Office and One Stop websites. To keep us all safe, eating on campus will look different this year. Although the dining rooms will be open, takeout service will be the primary option for students, faculty, and staff using Wilkerson Commons and Squires. You're encouraged to get your food to go as the seating capacity in dining rooms has been lowered significantly. Plexiglass shields have been installed at all food stations. Hand sanitizer stations will also be readily available when you enter the facility and throughout the dining centers. Before arriving, guests are encouraged to review the dining website for online menus to speed up the process and reduce traffic jams. For those using meal plans, download the new Get Mobile app to access the dining centers and pay using dining dollars, including at retail locations. The dining staff will use food trays to pass food, so the guests are the only ones touching their to-go containers. All items will be made for you, but customization of dishes will be limited to off-peak service times. Please use a disinfectant wipe to clean the touch points on the beverage dispensers before and after pouring your beverage. Look for instructional signage in the service areas. At stopping grounds or the express convenience stores, use the Grubhub mobile app to order items in advance for pickup. Additional app instructions will be provided on the dining website. Meals will be delivered directly to any students living on campus requiring quarantine or isolation. To lower density across campus, living on campus has changed for the upcoming academic year. All students living in the UND residence halls and University Place will have private bedrooms. To promote physical distancing while moving into the residence halls, students will have the choice of an early drop-off or scheduled move-in time during welcome weekend. Early drop-offs allow students to bring their belongings to UND, go back to their previous living arrangement for a few days, and then return on welcome weekend to officially move in. By providing students with a private bedroom, the ratio of students per bathroom has also decreased. In addition, there will be some modifications to cleaning schedules. If you live in a hall with community cluster bathrooms, they will be cleaned daily by UND staff, with an emphasis on cleaning high-touch areas. Visitors will not be allowed to use the community cluster bathrooms. If you live in a residence hall with an attached suite bathroom, so that's any rooms in Wilkerson Complex, Walsh, Squires, or Swanson Hall, your room will be cleaned weekly. If you live in University Place, Carlton Court, or any of the other campus apartments, you will be responsible for cleaning your own individual bathroom. Even with the additional precautions, bathrooms should still be sanitized often. Housing will provide students with educational materials on how to properly sanitize these high-touch surface areas. Sanitizing solution will be available in bathrooms for use throughout the day. High-touch areas like community spaces, lounges, and laundry rooms will have hand sanitizer stations, occupancy limit signs, and will be cleaned daily. All housing events and community programs must follow the physical distancing and group gathering guidelines. For now, we'll be using a mix of in-person and virtual gatherings. UND offers a variety of ways for you to keep healthy, physically and emotionally during COVID-19. Enrolled students and paying members must sign an annual waiver to use the Wellness Center. Download the UND Wellness mobile app to sign the waiver, access exercise class schedules, register for wellness programs, and gain hands-free entry into the Wellness Center. If you do not have access to the mobile phone app, bring your U-card and you can self-swipe into the facility. Arrive dressed and prepared for your workout, as showers and locker rooms may not be available. Restrooms will be open. Bring your face covering, workout towel, and a water bottle. Towel service will not be available. Hand sanitizers and disinfecting stations will be available throughout the building. In addition to our enhanced cleaning and disinfecting procedures, we ask all members to wipe down equipment before and after use. Upon entering the Wellness Center and throughout most of your visit, a face covering will be required to be worn in indoor common spaces such as facility check-in, lounges, hallways, and bathrooms. Face coverings are not required to be worn, however, while you are exercising. Group exercise classes are now free with membership. Space is limited, so secure your spot by pre-registering for classes through the UND Wellness mobile app or website. Please arrive at least 10 minutes prior to your class start time. A variety of intramural recreational sports will be offered. However, offerings may be modified or limited to ensure the health and safety of our participants. For more information, visit the Wellness Center website. Student Health implemented telemedicine appointments in addition to face-to-face visits. Students should call 701-777-4500 to determine the most appropriate way to meet their healthcare needs, either virtually or in person. Patients will be pre-screened for COVID-19 when they schedule their appointment and when they check in. Face coverings are required. If you think you may have COVID-19, call your healthcare provider. They will do a pre-screening and guide you through next steps. Do not show up to a clinic without calling first. UND Student Health can do COVID-19 testing, so contact them if you need a test. Due to COVID-19, many students are facing insurance coverage questions, and Student Health has an insurance coordinator that can assist with questions, finding insurance plans, or applying for Medicaid if appropriate. Contact Student Health to schedule an appointment to discuss options. The Student Health Pharmacy has closed. Current prescriptions have automatically been transferred to the All True Family Medicine Residency Pharmacy next to the UND bookstore. You may have your prescriptions filled at a pharmacy of your choice. Most pharmacies even offer delivery services. The University Counseling Center can provide mental health and substance use services remotely for UND students. Virtual mental health services will be offered through a secure platform for eligible students. UCC is also using a new UND Health portal to streamline paperwork and the check-in process. For more information, visit the UCC website. UCC will offer virtual group sessions and workshops throughout the semester for UND students. Students, faculty, and staff may also request virtual presentations on a variety of mental health topics. Visit the UCC website for details. If you need an emergency counseling session, please call 701-777-2127. Your overall care and well-being remain our top priorities. Please help minimize the risk of spreading COVID-19 by following the policies and procedures that have been put in place to help keep UND as safe as possible. While we hope that you found this training valuable, we do recognize that it was a lot of information to take in, so refer to the coronavirus blog and departmental websites for additional details. If any information is unclear or you have questions, please reach out to your advisor, faculty member, or supervisor. And we want to remind you that while we stress physical distancing throughout this training quite a bit, we encourage you to find safe ways to continue to be social. Check out the UND calendar and social media for virtual and in-person activities. Find ways to reach out to others and lend a helping hand however you can. This is so important for our collective mental health as we get ready to experience a year like no other. We're all in this together. Thank you and have a great day.